If you look across the sweeping, rolling orange dunes of North Africa, the Middle East, or Central Asia, you mostly just see sand. That harsh, sun-baked surface is hostile to life. So snakes in the genus Eryx stopped trying to survive on top of it. They completely abandoned the classic serpentine behaviors of climbing trees or slithering through the grass and went underground. They became terrestrial sharks. These snakes physically swim through the dirt, navigating a completely subterranean world to hunt their prey from below. Surviving in a landscape with zero cover required extreme adaptation. The environment forced the evolution of a highly specialized, nearly invisible predator. Look closely at the head. You'll notice a distinct shovel-like snout. That reinforced skull acts like a plow, allowing the snake to drive blindly and forcefully through dense, heavy soil and compacted sand. Because they spend their lives submerged, their eyes have migrated higher up on their skull. They can lie completely buried with just the very top of their head exposed, watching the surface above them. They lie entirely motionless for days. When a rodent finally scampers overhead, they launch an explosive upward strike, biting the prey and instantly dragging it down into the crushing dark of the dirt to constrict it. These specific physical traits combine to make them a ruthlessly efficient, almost alien-like assassin in their natural habitat. But here is the strange reality. Despite a million years of evolution turning them into subterranean killers, sand boas are incredibly docile, tolerant of being handled, and, honestly, a little bit derpy. They've become incredibly popular house pets. You'll mostly see the Kenyan sand boa, scientifically known as Eryx calibrinus, alongside smaller cousins like the delicate Arabian sand boa. This diagram shows their stark size difference based on sex. Males stay tiny, tapping out at 15 to 20 inches, while adult females grow significantly larger, reaching 24 to 36 inches in length. Because they evolved to sit motionless in a small, arid space waiting for food, they are uniquely suited to thrive in a low-maintenance, captive environment. This cross-section shows the cardinal rule of sand boa care: deep, dry substrate. Whether you use aspen shavings or a dry sand and soil mix, you need a minimum depth of 4 to 6 inches. These are obligate burrowers. The ability to dig is a non-negotiable psychological requirement. If they can't burrow, they will stress out and refuse to eat. You also have to replicate their desert temperatures. By placing a thermostat-regulated heat mat under one side of the tank, you create a hotspot that reaches 88 to 95 degrees Fahrenheit at the substrate surface. The ambient air on the opposite side of the enclosure must drop down to 70 to 75 degrees, giving the snake a place to cool off and regulate its body heat. And keep the water dish small. Enclosure humidity must stay strictly between 30 and 50%. Any higher, and the wet soil will cause fatal respiratory infections. Replicate that arid, layered environment accurately, and these snakes will comfortably live for 15 to 20 years or more. When it comes to mealtime, those deep-seated ambush instincts make them highly predictable eaters. They readily take frozen, thawed mice every 5 to 14 days, depending on their age. The safest method is tongue feeding. Simply drag the thawed prey near the surface of the substrate right above the snake, and it will trigger that natural upward striking reflex. After they eat, you have to leave them entirely alone for 48 to 72 hours. Handling them too soon disrupts their digestion and often leads to regurgitation. Even in a glass box in your living room, their health and happiness entirely depend on you satisfying those million-year-old subterranean instincts. Of course, this means there is a humorous reality to keeping a sand boa. For about 90